Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to have some Division 19 ranked online gameplay in the middleweight division using Darren Till, who's a popular fan favourite. I struggle to use him on the game if I'm really honest. I just feel like he's a bit too stiff. Don't feel like he doesn't feel like as good as he could feel. He's got very good knees, very good elbows, very good kickboxing. As you can see, we're coming up against the middleweight champion, Israel Adesanya, and coming up against an opponent that has one win over me. But yeah, Darren Till's making a comeback on July 23rd against Jack Hermansson at UFC London, which is going to be real interesting to see how he does. I think he's the co-main event, if I'm correct in saying so. It'll be nice to see Darren back out there. I feel like people forget how good Darren could be. I mean, he marginally lost to Robert Whittaker, beat Kelvin Gastelum, who's incredibly tough to beat. He's beat a array of good fighters. I do feel middleweight is the weight class for him. I don't think a welterweight he'd be able to handle the established wrestlers. I feel like that's less of a threat, even though he's coming up against Jack Hermansson's going to look to take him down and ground him. But we'll see how Darren Till does. But as I was saying on the game in particular, I don't really like using him. I feel like he's a bit too stiff. Him being a southpaw isn't really an issue for me. I can adapt to that quite well. It's just more so that he just feels notoriously stiff and slow. To come up against Israel Adesanya, who of course are going to have all the tools in his arsenal to match Darren on the feet, if not surpass him quite comfortably, because Izzy's probably the greatest striker in the UFC right now, and arguably probably the greatest striker we've ever seen when it comes to kickboxing and the way he mixes everything together so fluidly. It's something really to behold. But you can see that as it stands in this first round here, that Izzy's doing a very good job of backing me up, hitting the switch kick to the body, spinning kicks to the body, throwing the cross and then into that push kick there, as you can see. And I'm starting to make these reads, and sooner you'll see that I start rotating away from that kick, and that will leave Izzy vulnerable for counters such as hooks or roundhouses to the bodies. But mainly it's just good to get out of the way, make and force my opponent to use something else. You can see that I'm really trying to attack Izzy's lead leg just to get Izzy thinking about defending low and then eventually going up high. And whenever we're in close, I really need to utilize the knees and elbows, and that's something that I will be trying to do as the rounds continue. However, I'm cautious with the fact that if you need an elbow one too many times, it doesn't look the greatest, and it's a very toxic way of playing. So trying to limit the amount of times I do that. You can see that the movement's good there to not get pinned against the cage. I don't mind letting Israel control the distance for the time being. It's only round one, and I normally take this round off just to really see how Izzy's going to choose to fight. He gets a massive knockdown here, sway the punches twice, and end up taking Israel's back. Had there been longer on the clock, this definitely could have been a more dangerous position. But with only about 30 seconds remaining, I choose to opt to get into top mount because I know I can't get a submission finish. And whilst in this position, I'm just building up GA and looking to land some ground and pound here. I know that the round has definitely been lost because Israel's had the better round, and not only that, just got the knockdown, which was absolutely huge. So now it's just more about allowing myself time to recover, landing some damaging shots of our own from the top, and looking to capitalise in round 2. And if it goes to round 3, capitalise in round 3, 4, 5, etc. But definitely picked up on some patterns in which Israel's throwing in. And the real big problem is once someone gets comfortable throwing a certain combination, he has success. After you start making the adjustments to make that combination not as successful, or they can't utilize it as well as they were before, you'll see that it becomes a huge problem for a lot of players to change, because it just becomes muscle memory in order to throw that combination. You'll see that in this fight, that once I start making reads and adjustments on certain combinations, that Izzy, unfortunately, muscle memory pulls him back to throwing the same combinations, and often or not it gets Izzy in trouble. You can see a much better start to round 2, and I could have looked to grapple there, gone to the cage and got a takedown. However, I did predominantly want to keep this fight on the feet because of course that's the realm in which I feel most comfortable with Darren Till, although I do feel like on the ground I could have a distinctive advantage against Izzy. But like I said, really wanted to keep this fight onto the feet. You can see that I'm trying to work in the leg kicks, go into the body here and there more often. Nice leg kick lands there, and I'm trying to keep southpaw as much as possible, not really trying to change stance. I'm very cautious of protecting my lead leg. I was expecting Israel to throw a bit more leg kicks just because obviously Izzy has very good leg kicks. However, it seems that my opponent definitely had no interest in engaging in a leg kick war, which is fair enough. Instead, he was going to look to utilise the switch kicks to the body, the roundhouses to the body in an attempt to slow me down. And that's something that I picked up on early. You see beautiful knee lands there, flying knee. And that's something that he was throwing quite a lot, was that flying knee. And, you know, they're extremely powerful. When those flying knees land, they do a lot of damage. And when your opponent's going, you know, knee to the midsection, flying knee to the midsection, flying knee, sometimes it's quite hard to predict in which order it's going to go in. And if you zig when you should have zagged, it will create a lot of problems. And get a knockdown here, and the game doesn't let me jump on top, which is extremely annoying. And that was one of those beautiful Muay Thai knees to the body as Izzy was throwing. And what I was really trying to do is, when Izzy was throwing a strike in close, in that boxing range, as Izzy was stepping in for the strike, there's a small window of opportunity to sneak a knee in, and that's exactly what I was trying to time. And you'll see that throughout the fight I will look to utilise that, because Darren Till's knees are absolutely vicious. And then after that knockdown, you can see here that this is where I knew, okay, this is the type of guy to do anything he has to do in order to win. He was looking for the standing guillotine with Izzy, and that right there is that small window of opportunity in which I was talking about just earlier. If you time that knee correctly, it does a lot of damage, especially when you're using someone like Darren Till that has absolute vicious knees. You can see him and Izzy just folded. So that's 2 knockdowns, I believe, this round. Get a deny here. There's not much time on the clock, so you can see I'm just throwing for the sake of throwing, trying to break that block, and hopefully some land. Get on top here, start throwing some ground and pound strikes, and you can see that the damage is definitely building up. Had I had more time on the clock, or potentially a bit more stamina, that definitely could have been detrimental. So definitely a much better round 2. Round 1 I definitely say was Israel's round. Round 2 would be Darren's round, myself's. And coming into round 3, I've just got to really build off of the success I had in round 2. So Izzy went to touch gloves, but after that standing guillotine attempt, I was like, I'm not going to touch gloves with you. You might be drawing me in for a kick to the head, or just to clinch and then look for the submission attempt. So I'm really going to opt to not do that. And if someone ever does try to do that standing guillotine on you, you have to remain calm and walk away from them if you haven't had time to block it. You can see here the body works really paid dividends. I tried to catch Izzy with a flying knee because that's something that Izzy kept trying to catch me with, so I thought it would be kind of ironic if that's what finished the fight. However, it was a good block from my opponent. You can see I tried to clinch there because I was going to go for some elbows in the clinch. Izzy goes for that flying knee again, gets caught on the way in. I'm working that lead leg, get another knockdown here. And you can see that I'm being very calculated, because I don't want to overcommit and get caught with something and end the fight, especially when you're in the driving seat. One thing you can't do is overextend, let your ego get in the way, look for a flashy finish, and then get absolutely knocked out, because Izzy does have that skill set, does have the power to do so, especially if I get caught with a flying knee or just something out of the blue. It could really end the fight. And another knee to the midsection. That midsection is now really soft, becoming very, very easy to get studs off. The lead leg of Israel Adesanya is obviously hurt, and that's just because of the sheer work I've been doing in the rounds prior. And that's why I think leg kicks is such an important tool to utilise, because now that I've got my opponent's midsection hurt, head health hurt, and leg hurt, I'm really able to tee off on any part of the body that is available to me. And yeah, still being cautious, throwing fakes here and there just to see how Israel's going to react. Lands a huge overhand right there, but when you have no stamina, it's not going to do much damage. So unfortunately for him, it didn't do anything, and then he got slept. So that was a fight with Darren Till. I hope you guys did enjoy. I just want to say a huge thank you to all the support on the channel. As of recently, been getting a lot of nice comments and a lot of new subscribers as well, so thank you all for subscribing. If you're new here and you did enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more UFC 4 content. I'm going to start putting content out there more regularly, hopefully 2 uploads a week if I do have the time, and hopefully get back onto the streaming game. So yeah, just want to say a huge thank you to you all. I think here I get promoted to, I can't really see on my screen, I think that was Division 20. I went on a bad run, so it was good to get back in Division 20. This was on stream, so shout out to anyone that watched. But yeah, let me know what you think is going to happen with Darren's next fight, and let me know if you enjoyed watching this Darren gameplay, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.